Happy Friday night. I feel like it's happy all week. I feel like that this week. I feel like there's no beginning or end. I feel like, oh, geez. I have glasses on because I have makeup on, but no eye makeup on. So I don't want to scare you because my eyes are sore. So I didn't want to put makeup on because then I probably would have rubbed it all off my face anyway. So, hello. How are we? Ooh, this is PG. Put it all in there, Vicky. Thank you, Gail. Hello. Hi, Julie. Hi, Heather. Hi, friends. I'm hoping there's lots of hola, hola from Puerto Rico. Hi, Sharon. How are you? Hi, Carol, Rita. Hi, Graham. Heather, just know it. Like, I went live yesterday for the Texas group, and I told them I have no clue what's going to come out of my mouth tonight. And today is a continuation because I'm too old to pull almost all nighters, and I did it a lot this week. A lot this week. So it's going to be like craft and chat with Vicky tonight, and we're going to talk about something that comes very naturally to me, and so I don't ever really discuss it, but a little bit. We're going to do a little design stuff. And did you see that? My friend is in, and I always am going to say it wrong, right? Beatrice, right? Help me because you know I have trouble with the names, but is in Quebec, right? And I think you had poutine. I was driving, getting my paper for tomorrow's walkthrough, so I couldn't download your photo, but I believe that's what you were eating, poutine, and I hope you loved it because it is very delicious. And while you're in Quebec, you need to have like smoked meat too, like a good old corned beef sandwich and bagels, because there's some good stuff, and tortillere, their meat pie. I would try that as well. But hello, friends. Hi, Kari. Hi, Glenda. How are you? So what I was saying is I stayed up late a lot of the days. And I'm too old, and now I feel like I'm hurting today. Today I was hurting. Beatrice. Thank you. Don't ever like be offended with Vicky and names, right? It's not night owl. It's literally there's not enough hours in the day to meet the expectations and the deadlines. So it was a lot of late nights, but it's all good. It's all good, right? Rough week all around, and then there were highs and there were super lows this week, and that's why I love crafting and I love this community. So I'm here to hopefully help you fill your cup, and definitely going to be putting some in mine as well, because I really feel I don't know, I had some very aha moments this week. I had a lot of like growth is a good thing, right? And I had a lot of personal growth this week, just things that letting go of things I can't control, because I want to fix it all, and I take way too much in, and I feel too many things, and I just feel like we're getting older, and I just need to let a lot of stuff go. And so what I'm super excited about, if you weren't aware, because maybe you have been like busy as heck this week and you haven't seen anything out there, my new collection released. So Janine sent me, I'm going to show you something, right? Letting go is hard. Letting go is hard, but it is healthy. Letting go is hard, but it is healthy. So I'm just saying, there's one of those things, I just feel like things we can't control, and there's nothing we can do other than just kind of be supportive and do all the things that, you know, in this crazy world that we live in. I'm just letting it all go, and I'm going to make stuff. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to love on my family and my friends and my community. So I got to show you because I'm excited about this. So these I order exclusively. They will not be for sale anywhere. You'll only be getting them from me, and very limited number. Are you ready? So this is my new collection. Yoop. Can you guys see that? So this is the pin for Curiosities in Willow Grove. And did you know there is a pin for Mistletoe and Memories? Look how cute are these. And there was one for Flower Emporium, and then I have my own Vicky Booten ones, but look how cute are these. So I just got it today. The other thing that I just got was the paper. I just got the paper. So I was like with you guys doing the walkthrough, and I hadn't seen any of it. And I just have to tell you, I can say now from literally first person, it is 100 times better when you're touching it and sniffing it. Like, because I'm watching when Janine was going through, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so proud of it. It's so fun. I'm loving it. It's so good. And then I get some of it, and I'm like, holy crap, it's freaking awesome. So I won't, because that's tomorrow, and I'm getting stuff ready, but I want to hold something up close to the camera. I hope that maybe like it'll look better. I wonder if it's like this is what it is for all of you guys when we do these collections. But let me just hold this one up. I want you need to like, seriously, can you see that? Can you see me? It is so freaking pretty. So if you didn't know, tomorrow, I gotta find the spot because I organized it all. Find the spot where it goes. I'm doing the full walkthrough. And please join me because I love that you guys were there and you supported with when I did it with 49 and Market and Janine. But I love to do the walkthrough. Like I live for the presenting, right? Look at the new Royal Baby, the new Vicky Boutin collection. So I really am hoping that you can join me tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. The link is already up there. I am going to be doing 2 giveaways. So if you watch live, you have 2 chances to win. Because my giveaways are going to be for the collection. You get the class. So what I give you is just the dollar value of that in a gift certificate. And then you can go and do the things. So anyway, I'm all over the place. So thank you for, I can't see any, I want to read all the comments. I'm missing all the things. I feel like I'm like at the party and you guys are all talking, but you know, I'm talking to weird Uncle Charlie and I can't get out of the conversation, but you're having a conversation I really want to be a part of. That's sometimes what it's like on Friday Night Live when I'm doing this till I turn the camera around because I can't see what you're saying. Hi, Carol. Friends that have been around for a long time, thank you for saying hello to me. It matters. I bet you're often out there and you're like, whatever, there's lots of people chatting. I don't need to. Yes, you do. It matters. Like it matters to me because I'm a dinosaur who've been around here for a long time. And I love seeing people that I haven't seen in a long time. So hello, friends. I wish I could say hi to all of you, right? But it does. I love it. Hello, my papillon. There are some pretty butterflies in this new collection, but they're moths. Because it's fall and we're walking through the woods and I feel like in the fall it's moths. It's not really, but I don't know. I do. And there's some butterflies in there too, but stop. Okay, Natalie, just shut it down with the rats. That is not a rat, and we're going to talk about that. Hi, John. We're going to talk about that. It's not a rat. It's a mouse. It is a mouse. And I will die on that hill. And I like it. I feel like there are mice in the woods. I'm going to find that book that I love. Does anybody know the book I'm talking about? It's from my ute. And it was a book about a mouse that finds a jack-o'-lantern and lives in the jack-o'-lantern. Hi, Valerie. I hung out with your husband tonight. We had a nice conversation and your house looked perfect. He's doing a great job. But you ordered from your store, Create That Studio. I love that. I love it. Question, will you ever have a Canadian event in person? We were working on one. It was supposed to be next year, but we are delaying it because they want it to be like a razzle dazzle. So, and eventually I would like to do my own, but the whole thing is for events for me, they have to be of a scale that makes it worth my while and the store's while for me to be there for a weekend, right? Simon killed the rats and left the cute mouse. Yes, it's a cute mouse. It's a mouse in the house. It's like if you give a mouse a cookie, like Scrapfest. Yes, Scrapfest. I will be there. Lisa just messaged me and I'm like, of course. So it's gonna be good. Scrapfest is gonna be good. So Mousekin's Golden House. Darlene, did you look it up or do you know the book? You all need Mousekin's Golden House. And I need to write it down because I'm going to buy that because I loved that. And Miss Biaggi, right? Bianca, is that the mouse in with the alligators, the Disney one? What is that? What is that one called? Moskin's Golden House. I love. It is a beautifully illustrated, and I love that book. So, do you remember that? And the one, does anybody remember? I think Socks for Supper. Look that one up too. Moskins. I'm writing it down. Moskins. Golden House. I think those books were core memories. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Like those ones, do you remember? I loved going to the library. I love Scholastic. Like I feel like now, like as scrapbookers, when these new releases go out, it's like a Scholastic book fair. It just is. Yes, Miss Bianca. Do you know what I'm talking about? I loved that. Because wasn't she supposed to be like, what was Zsa Zsa Gabor? I feel like Miss Bianca was supposed to be like Zsa Zsa Gabor. Don't you think? Her accent was like Zsa Zsa. I loved that. I loved that movie too with the little, what was Penny? Was her name Penny? Oh my goodness. I can't remember yesterday and I will not remember any of your names, but I can remember every detail from my youth. Yes, Moskin's Golden House. I hope it's still in print. I need to find it. The Rescuers. Did anybody else love that one? Like I loved that. But yes, Miss Bianca. I didn't see it. When I flip, I'm going to go through because we're talking about things. Like I said, I'm talking to weird Uncle Charlie and I'm missing the whole conversation you guys are having behind my back. And I have so much that I need to add and it's important stuff. So I'm not going to let you look at me for long. I'm going to flip the camera. So lots to talk about tonight. Ask the questions. If you have questions, ask the questions. Tonight, I'm not actually going to make anything. It's like more of a learning session because I cluster. It is like literally, just so you know, this week has been crazy time where I have been designing Sizzix stuff. I've been designing my next collection with 49 to market and had a brand new release, getting ready for Texas. Everything happening at the same, shipping kits for Christmas. 300 kits went out today. So that's good. We're almost like it's almost done. And I just have to go in. I think the only ones left are a few Canadian ones that had more than just the kit, which when I'm done my live tomorrow, I'm going over to do that. And then I'm taking Sunday off. So needless to say, it has been a lot. But when we talk about clusters, I just want you guys to know that it literally is a part of my whole design philosophy is the clustering. And I came to realize as I was kind of thinking about it that it's all design principles, but my brain just uses design principles without me having to think about design principles. So there are some people, right brain, left brain, that balance and all of those things that come with good design, just naturally your eye just sees it. There are other people who have to work at that. Can it be learned? 100% can. Can you improve your pages, your cards with some basic design concepts? Yes. So I've decided that I'm putting on my list that one of the classes that is going to come up, again, I have to start turning stuff down because I can't manage all of the things, is I would like to do a design principles class because I really think that it's worth the discussion and it's worth the practice. So I think a class that could be like design principles, that we talk about the principles and then we put them in so it would be like a class with a kit, so that I feel like it would be so good to talk about those things, from everything to color to mixed media. Like I feel like that could be like at least a month-long class. Like I really feel like there's a lot of things we could talk about because I really think I really think a lot tonight. I've said that probably 50 times. That bite-sized pieces of that would be really good, right? You're the one who works at it. I'd have to say probably the majority are. I wouldn't say, I think the ones that it's a pretty natural thing are the ones you see design teams and designing product and stuff, because we should be doing those things. We should be, because it's, You know, you could be great with numbers and I'm not good with numbers. So you should be doing those things that you're great at, right? So, but it can be learned, right? Like anything, it can be learned. So tonight is going to be not super in depth, but I grabbed stuff. I even grabbed stuff that you can never buy, but I want to share it with you because it was so good. So remember with cut and paste that I told you we had done a whole new papery box, but they canceled it. But I have a sample of it. So the art was all made. They just never put it into production. So I have that. So we're going to look at that tonight, just for the design. So I grabbed papery and elements from cut and paste. I grabbed elements from Flower Emporium. I'm tired, so I forgot the name. And I even grabbed, look at bins of old magic. There's probably some wildflower and honey. Because I'm going to have to tell you that things have changed. You have to think of like what? So what is this, my 24th, 25th collection? But a lot of the concepts are the same. It's the things I do are the same. I don't feel like I would put text paper in every collection. I put a ledger in every collection because I feel like I want to use them in every collection, right? So I just feel like they're just good base pieces. But a lot of the concepts are the same. Like scale matters. And I'll tell you something, as somebody who teaches classes and often uses product that is not my own product, so I will see a digital rendering online and then I'll get it and I'll go open up the embellishment pack and everything is at the bottom of the pack and all the same size. I'm angry because I'm like, that's not good design. Where am I going to have like variations in scale? How am I going to get balance with that? So there's a lot of things. Size matters. And I've said this twice now. I said it yesterday too. It really, it does 100%, even like joking, right? But it matters. Scale matters. And you can't have everything huge either. Because one, so I just want you, and we're going to talk about that tomorrow. So tomorrow is not only an unboxing of my collection, but it again will be like a little design discussion, like what goes into developing a collection. Because I really feel like it's important. I want you kind of making educated choices when sometimes you're buying some of these products of mine, really, because that's all I'm going to control is what I can talk about with my own stuff. But I think it would be fun. So tomorrow when we do the walkthrough, I will be walking through the papers. I will walk through all of the things. We'll have all the elements sorted so we can really show, like I can show you why there's titles that look like this in this package. There's titles that look like this. There's little word strips. There's subtitles. There's main titles because it's all principles of design that I don't even think about, but I just do it. So anyway, I'm going to flip the camera because I'm missing all the chatter. I don't know what any of you guys are talking about. And I want to see, and I have to take my sweater off because now it's too hot. But isn't it pretty? I bought it today. See the pattern in it? Like that could show up in a paper because wouldn't that be a beautiful textured paper? So design is design. If I'm putting it in a scrapbook collection, on a scrapbook page, on a card, if I'm designing art on my wall, if I am putting pillows on my bed, all those same things, design is design, and it won't matter how you apply it. All those design principles matter. So it's a lecture time, right? Oh, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm scared. Vicky's scaring me. She's yelling at me about design principles. No, never yelling at you. Okay, here we go. Quick so you can't see the mess. Woo! That was fast, Vicky. It's a mess. I am living in complete chaos right now. In my head is complete chaos, and the world around me is complete chaos. There is a mess everywhere. So what did I miss? See, the glasses are coming off because I can't actually see, only close up with those. So they're coming off. Do you guys have any questions? I have to tell you this too, if you drink Diet Pop, because I do. I know it's poison, but I love it. I just bought this tonight. Dr. Pepper, strawberries and cream, 0. And holy moly. Hello, Julianne. my fellow ding dong. Is my friend Paula out there? I don't know if Paula's here tonight. I missed it. Hello, Olivia. How are you? Hi, Irene. Don't forget to thumbs up, friends. Yes, please. If you're here, thumbs up the video, because what's it cost you? Nothing, but it certainly helps people find us. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do that. So did I miss anything? So yes. So minutes from this week are, hello, Carissa. How are you? Hi, Debbie. I have a new release out, and it's called Curiosities in Willow Grove. And I'm going to be doing a full walkthrough tomorrow. The kits for multiple things will go live tomorrow. There will be a Halloween kit that is for a layout class, because Halloween came out with this as well. I have it right beside me. And here, I have to tell you this. So Olivia, maybe you can appreciate this. So my daughter Devin does not scrapbook. She is very supportive and loves her mama, but she doesn't do this stuff, right? And I showed her the Halloween, and her boyfriend were like, I love that. So this is the Halloween collection. So tomorrow, and they're limited kits, right? I only buy to support. This is how I get paid, or my classes, right? So I only supply a certain amount. So there's still lots left for the retailers. So very limited with the Halloween kit. Because for that one, I'm like, that's more retailers. I will just sell a couple of them for people who might have a hard time finding it. And I'm going to be doing a layout class. So with that, I will outline it all tomorrow. Will be this collection pack. I don't know where I put them. There's a frame set that came out. I just picked it up, but do you think I brought it over here? I might have left it somewhere. There's the frame set. There's some other elements because we need a little bit more, right, to make the pages. I'm also going to be doing a completely free class using the flip stand and this collection pack. So you will, in essence, need 2 of these. You will need 2 of these. And I'm going to do a whole free class making a flip tag book for the flip stand. Right? This one is a whole kit, plus I added a whole bunch of stuff. I am going to be putting access only up on Monday for this one. Okay, because I don't want to confuse it. I'm not going to put it up tomorrow, but on Monday, and it will list everything that you need. Okay. I am going to post in the Vicky Booten community page, Facebook page, and on my page, a whole list of the classes and things that are coming up with a schedule. That will go up tomorrow before I go live. So, because it's a lot, right? I'm sure if you're out there, Jill, you're like, I'm still confused by all of this because it's a freaking lot. And it is. It's a lot for me. So I can only imagine for you guys that aren't sharing my brain. So again, there will be a kit for Halloween that will have extras in it. That's for a layout class. Will there be access only for that? Yes. Once the kits are sold out, I'll post that as well. If it sells out tomorrow, which it very well could, I'll put the access only up for that on Monday with the Christmas class, the flip book. There will be the new collection, Curiosities in Willow Grove, will be a second one, and that will be an album and layout class. And there's some extra stuff, right? There's some extra stuff that I'll be putting up there as well. Okay, question. Yes, so, and if you're going to the Texas event, the Crafting Through the Holidays in Conroe, Texas, you can use the code TEXAS in uppercase, Texas, and that will give you free shipping because I will ship it to the event and you can pick it up. The other thing that will be coming out, and this will only, I won't be posting it for a while because I'm going to wait till I have them in my hands, is I also designed this last week 10 new stencils and 2 stamp sets. And they're currently in production and they're going to be up soon. And the plus is I'm shipping them to Greta. So in the US, so when she ships my stuff that comes over the border, I will have stuff for Canada, but all of my existing stencils, which will be 26 stencil patterns, you'll be able to get from the US, right? Well, shipping, yes, shipping in the US is available. Yes. Okay. So I wish that I had this set up where as I'm saying it, I could clip it up on screen. So here is the rundown. I'm going to do a walkthrough tomorrow. My kits are going to go on sale. You can buy them in the US or Canada. Internationally, get in touch with me. I know some of my Aussies will do it right online, but I'm going to recommend you get in touch with me because shipping rates are through the roof. I'm not going to lie. And I'm sure if you live anywhere like that, just to give you an idea, UK, when I went through all my UK shipping, since I started this, has gone up $30. Up $30. It doesn't cost 30. It's now up to almost $80 to ship, and that's through Netherlands Post Office. I don't know why it's the cheapest rate, but everything else is 90 to 100 to ship to the UK. So it's crazy, but I'll do it for you if you want it, because I'd have to think the stores are getting dinged with the same thing, but it's crazy. It's crazy. And I even just billed everybody. I only billed everyone $70. So I ate the extra $10 with tax because I'm like, it's what I quoted. I'll just go with it, but it's crazy. So tomorrow I'll do the whole walk through the collection. Both kits will go up. The stamps and stencils will not be up yet, not until, but if you're in Texas, you will see them. My Texas friends will get their kits first, only because I'm taking Greta with me to Texas to help me with everything. And so shipping of the new stuff will commence as soon as she gets back, unless we can get it all done before we go, which we're trying, right? Where do I get the flip stand? They should be readily available anywhere you shop online. I sold them out here. I can't reorder any of my product. Whatever I initially order is all I can order. But where are you, Laura? Are you in the US or Canada? Right? It was $87, yeah, to get it to Australia. It's ridiculous. And there's no markup on that. I don't make any money off of that. And I drive them 2 hours to drop it off so I can get them to you the cheapest. It's crazy town, right? Question, will the items go live in store before noon or live at the end? Okay, I was going to put them up at noon, but I guess if you want to watch the whole thing, I'll put them up after my live. How about that? So I'll probably going to be on there for 2 hours, I figure, tomorrow. So let's say it's going to go live tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern time. The kits will go live. Okay? So did I miss anything? I wasn't looking. Yeah, I really believe that some of these companies are just taking advantage of the current tariff stuff. So I don't feel like it's costing them any more money, but it's an opportunity to gouge. And I do truly believe that. Like my husband calls it greedflation. That it's like anytime, like during COVID when things were short, it was really easy to up the price on everything. And then the prices never came down. And I feel like shipping is the same. And maybe I'm wrong. Hi, Karen. I was thinking about you. I'm going to drop your stuff off at your house. That's probably going to happen at some point this weekend. It's right across from me on my table. So I think it is. So it's one of those, right? Just ordered my pre-order Halloween. Yay! It'll be fun. So yes, for all of the people that are going to be ordering my kits, I love and appreciate you. It will all go up tomorrow and I'll do the walkthrough. But for tonight, we're not talking about this anymore. That'll be tomorrow. But I don't like to talk a lot about the whole class sales stuff. So I will send a newsletter that will go out tomorrow morning that outlines everything. So you will have dates and I will put all the dates and everything in. And then we'll just get the stuff rolling. Question, what time is the live tomorrow? 12 p.m. Eastern. 12 p.m. Eastern. Wendy, question, is there a particular location where you're most inspired to create your collection? City, coffee shop, public space, vacation? In my craft dungeon. Right here. I'd have to say I'm most inspired right here. I don't know. It's something I feel like I found. You know when you found your thing? I found my thing here because I mural paint. I went to school for fine arts. I went to school for graphic design. Then I went to school for dentistry. I went and was a dental assistant and a treatment coordinator. And I love that too because I love people and I love sales and I love that whole aspect of it. And then I found my way back here and it's what I was supposed to do, right? It's what I was supposed to do. Email me, Laura. Okay, just email me and we'll chat. Info@vickybooten.com. Did I miss any questions? Because I'm looking at the screen now. But let's get into what you came here for tonight, because I talk a lot, right? There must be some incredible energy in that. Yes, it's tickle torture down here. There's like, we don't put you on with the machine that stretches you. It's tickle torture. Okay, I think we're good, right? So look at, it's like I feel like the teacher. I'm going to put my whiteboard out here. I'm going to put this board down, so I think it will be easier to see. Yeah, Laura, so email me at info@vickybooten.com and we'll talk about it. So clusters. Do you understand what I'm talking about when we talk about clusters? So even when I see people post layouts and such, it's a thing. Like, I cluster because the biggest thing with that is I want my art to be grounded. Like, it has to make sense, and it has to have something that is the base and something that's the element that is the focal point. So one of the biggest things is when you are designing your layouts and stuff, you don't want stuff just floating around. Like, I don't just willy-nilly stick elements on. Normally they're grouped, they're clustered. So one of the important things with that is scale. Scale will matter, color, continuity. You want it to have a base and a forefront, like there should be a star of the show and the supporting cast. Color, scale, repetition, all of those things will matter when you're clustering, right? All of those things will matter. So when I'm designing product, when Flower Emporium came out, it's kind of the sky was the limit, and there's a lot of SKUs with this one, right? And the thing I'm coming to realize is people want everything, but you can't necessarily afford all of the things, right? It's a lot. So now as I've done each collection, I keep scaling back. Like the one I'm working on, I scaled back even more. I'm like, I just feel like one laser cut, one rub on. I want, if I'm going to be coming out with 3 or 4 a year, I would rather them be a little bit more compact. And then some things that we're doing are like base or foundation pieces that if you buy a set of frames, it'll work throughout all of the things. So like I'm trying, I'm really trying, because it is one of those things. It's a business. So really we're here to make the company money, because what people don't understand is I make the money for my classes. I don't really make money from the design work or even the sales of the product if I'm not doing a class. Like for designers, for the most part, it's the teaching is where, and for me, teaching with a kit. So I'm very aware of that, right? So it's not, I just want you to understand when I do this stuff, it's not like more, because I'm just gonna, I'm rolling in the dough. It's not the case. For me, more is because I want to give you more stuff. Like I want bigger titles, more titles, extra elements, chipboard, because we need dimensional pieces, but it's a lot. And because the quality of this product is so good, right? Not really, Louisa, like very little. It's a tiny little percentage. And that's a misconception, right? It's like, why does Vicky design product for a company, but then sells kits and teaches with it? Well, if I don't, I can't do this as a job, because I wouldn't make enough money to support myself. So, and that's okay. I'm totally okay with, most of us are, we wouldn't be doing it. We're okay with how it all balances and works out. Because one, I want to get in front of you. I can design all this pretty product, but if I don't sit and make projects with you, you aren't going to see what directed me or what inspired me to do certain things. So the actual making with it is my favorite part. The product I love, but my favorite part, right, is the making, the doing. So when we came out with these SKUs, right, we have the icon ephemera. It's changed because when this one came out, it was 4 sheets. Like the pieces that all the elements went on were 4 sheets. And now we've dropped that down to 3 because I'm like, okay, it probably is too much. I love it, but I'd rather get the prices down on some of the stuff. So change that. But when you have like an icon pack, most of this is going to be your heroes. So there is some supporting cast, but the icon pack is your heroes. I didn't grab it, but the base pack that is your journaling pack is your foundation. It's the supporting cast pieces. So that's why when you're buying, do you need both? Yes, you do. And I firmly believe that you need both, because you need those foundational pieces to go with all of the wow pieces. And then I love chipboard because I want a dimensional piece, like texture matters as well, right? Can you fake it with foam dots? Yes. Yes, you can. So when we do this now, a lot of it now is one package. Like I'll lose elements, but because the price of making chipboard, it's one sheet. So whatever I get on that sheet is all I get. And that's why, but I need more. I can't get everything on there. So I'm learning. I learn as we go along, right? I learn as we go along. So there are elements in here that are going to be hero elements. There's elements in here that are going to be your foundational, or even think of it as like 3 different things. So you'll have your kind of heroes. Heroes even have some supporting cast. And then you'll have your base pieces, which can vary in scale and size. And then you'll have, even like with that supporting, the ensemble pieces, like your tabs and your banners and so they're not necessarily bases, but they're filler. You need the filler pieces. Okay. So I'm hoping, does any of this make sense? Or are you like, I don't know what she's talking about until she shows me what she's talking about. So I'll show you. So, right, we have elements from Flower Emporium. Well, you can still get this. Like, I know that scrapbook.com has tons of it. I love this collection, cut and paste. Unfortunately, a lot of the elements we designed didn't make it. Like the chipboard didn't make it. Seriously, look at it. So sad about that. So do you see what I'm saying? These are textural elements. So a lot of them are heroes. Like a camera is a hero. When I put that down, it's going to definitely be the focal point. I would say for sure the camera would be my focal point for my clusters. So all of these elements all are designed for a reason. Like if I design something like this, I probably would put little stickers or words in there. I might put journal strips on here. It's kind of a foundational piece. And then these are those filler pieces I was talking about, my borders, stitches, right? The leaves are kind of supporting cast. A title, right? Why didn't it make it? They cut lots of stuff. American Crafts was like at that point up for sale and just going through some changes. So a lot of the stuff we designed never made it. But don't worry, I've already decided on my list of collections that I will design again will be a 2.0 to cut and paste. There'll be a 2.0 for cut and paste because I love this collection and I feel like we could have done so much more with it. But it certainly is like a huge design concept for me, is this whole idea of like paper piecing, because I do it all the time in my art, right? So it doesn't matter what collections I do. You have a mix of titles because I want titles that are kind of the main, and then I like subtitles. And if I'm doing a double page layout, I like to make a cluster with a title on the left page, and I like to cluster titles on the right page, right? So this was so fun. I don't know where all the paper pieces are in here though. Oh, I guess they're in here. So papery is almost like a clusterer's dream. So friends that have been around for a long time, would you not agree? Do you remember with my papery packs, like we would make like 20 clusters out of it? Because it is, look at base pieces. These can be cut apart. It's different scale. You have library cards that is a base, but it's a bigger scale, right? So with the papery, look at supporting cast. I can already see a cluster coming together. Let's talk about it. A frame, all the frames, because you don't want things just floating in space. And this is a good thing for a lot of you guys, because sometimes when you post your layouts, you might be looking at it going, I don't understand. It doesn't feel like it's coming together. And more, probably 9 times out of 10, it's that you need to group things instead of just putting them out willy-nilly, right, on your page. So you will see this is a base, but it's a linear base. So we swap up shape and scale. And this is supporting cast again, right? Filler pieces. So even just throwing this in my hand, here's star of the show. So let's quickly, even with this, I'm going to show you, like, okay, I pull these elements out. I'm going to quickly show you 3 examples of clusters. I think I could do it, right? Because I design this stuff. I'm the one who, I want these elements in. I want this to happen. So let's do it with this. Does it have to be Vicki Boutin product? No. Can I guarantee every collection you buy is going to have everything you need? No. Because a lot of people who design these collections don't actually scrapbook. So even though they could be amazing graphic designers, if they aren't actually putting it together on a page, they're only designing individual elements, you might be missing things that you need. You might be missing things that you need. And I actually even think sometimes if people don't take my classes, watch my Friday night lives, I think a lot of what you can do with my product lines gets lost. I really, truly, I think I have to do way more education. Would you guys agree with that? Would you agree with it that sometimes when you do stuff with me on a Friday night or in a class that you just see way more value than you would have if you just bought it and used it on your own or it sat in your collection? I'm just curious. Because I feel like there's so much thought that goes into this that a lot of you guys, once you sipped the Kool-Aid, like once you started doing this stuff with me, you just keep coming back because it's like, okay, it's all there. I have everything I need. So let's pull out our base pieces. I want you to get an idea of what I'm talking about. There were 2 of everything in here. So if you're like, what collection is this? Can I buy it? No. So don't be mad. And then we have kind of, this is almost supporting cast. This is supporting cast, but do we see we vary scale? This is a base, but I would use on its own or with something. A ruler is a linear thing. I just want you guys, like, and if you're new here, stick around and I will show you why I think some of this stuff is awesome. I will show you. It will come. But look we need these things. These things are filler. Oh my goodness, all day long filler. We need tickets. We need, look at, star of the show, a house. There's a house. What other? A bird is almost supporting cast. I know Natalie, but look at, she loves rats and she loves birds. But I'll put it up here. Supporting cast, filler, right? Definitely a layerable element. Like that would fall in the layerable element. Oh my goodness, stars and hearts all day long. So then we add things that, like the chipboard. Oh my goodness, when you get into acetate pieces, right? That gives you more texture and a whole other layer. So I'm just pulling some stuff so that I could show you. This collection, this art is going to show up somewhere. I just want you to know. I will end up doing something with it because how sad we did all this work and you guys never got to see it. See, that would still fall into frame for me. So we're going to do it with this. Linear element. Always linear elements. These are all linear elements, but they're linear elements that fall into our title category and subtitle, right? So look at, like, we'll pull titles. So when Vicki does titles, do the titles all look the same? No, because titles don't all serve the same purpose. So when we're doing stuff like this, so here's part of the lesson. When you get your new ephemera packs, wherever, Vicki Boutin, Dennis Line, Simple Stories, Echo Park, you should, once you understand the concept, when I open everything, I put all of it together. I separate everything and I paper clip like things together. So I would go in and I would paper clip all my bases. I paper clip all my titles. I paper clip all my flowers, my leaves, birds, hearts, camping gear, whatever the theme of this is super, it's important to do it because you're already breaking your design concepts down. Scale, I separate it by size. I separate things by color, by texture, by weight. Are you finding this helpful? Is it computing, or is it just sound like words? So these go into like our filler, right? So let's just pull a few elements so I can show you. Because you see, there's a theme there. Linear, but it also, these are grounding pieces. These pieces help ground things. Tickets are almost like an in-between, right? I'm going to put those kind of with my filler. Let's grab, I need some more heroes. There's not a ton of heroes ever in the papery pack, and I'll tell you why. Because you have a whole ephemera pack with it in there, right? So I don't need to fill this with a whole bunch of heroes, because my heroes would be in my icon pack. So that when you're doing this, you need, that's why, do I need an icon pack? Whatever I put out there, you need the things. They're all going to make sense. So it's, don't cherry pick the collections. If you love the collection and it speaks to you, I am a firm believer that you buy that collection. I think it's better to buy that a collection than buying multiple collections. Because then you're going to sit down to use it and you're not going to have everything that you need. Shapes. Repeated shapes are a awesome design element. That's why there's always circles, hearts, stars. Things that I can have lots of in multiples. Look how fun. I'm telling you, this collection, I'm going to revisit a lot of these elements. Okay, I feel like I've pulled enough that I can do things with it. The only thing that I don't have a lot of in here is heroes. There's not a lot of heroes, but I can make anything work. So let's do it. This is kind of, look at repeated shapes, right? I'll make it work. But have you seen the moths? Are you going to join me tomorrow? How do I say your name? Is it Lolis? 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 How do I say it? They're not ugly moths. Don't let Natalie scare you with the rats. You're probably scared already because you think there's rats in the collection. It's okay. All right, those elements, right? There's not as much in here because they scaled, even though they cut this, they scaled it back. So even though they cut it, they scaled this back. So there's not as much in here that should have been. But see the mix of titles. There's different titles, different elements. There's some houses. Okay, I'm going to put the rest of this back in here and we'll use what we have. Ooh, these kind of things too. Love that as filler. Yes, come back tomorrow. You will see. These kind of things, like all of this matters. All of these things matter. These little fillers, these little repeated things and accents. Because then accents would kind of fall into this too, right? There's the box. Oh. Ooh, look it. Love that. A pocket. A pocket is frame. That falls into kind of my frame things, right? And look at, like, there's something for everybody in there. Like, obviously, Natalie does not like the mouse in my collection or the birds. So she probably is not going to put it on there. But that is why we have to have multiple packs. So I didn't do 20 mice in there. Because Natalie would be like, Vicky, I can't work with this collection because I don't like them. So there's always something for everybody, right? There's always something for everybody. So things, even when you're doing like a linear element, you would, I wish that I had something, I could just throw these things in and put them away after, but I do not. So I apologize, I have to pick this up. Okay, almost. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to now take 3 elements that we can layer. I like these two. Look at those linear elements. And it's hard. So you see repeats in a lot of collections because you can't reinvent the wheel every time, right? So what can we change? We can change color, we can change scale, we can change maybe the texture of the art, but you will see collections come out. I have seen it. I've done it myself, that I'll have a collection come out. I have no clue what other companies are making. And then I'll see a collection come out with the exact same theme, title. We obviously were just inspired by the same things, but I didn't have like there wasn't a mole or a rat in there for me to know what somebody was making, but I could end up making the exact same thing, right? Let's take this. I think it's a good place to start because you have a library pocket, which would have a library card, which I love because then it's going to be an interactive element, right? So this would be my base. So I love that it's a base with an interactive bit. So I would start with something like this, and then I would probably pick title or what my main element was going to be, right? So on this one, I think it's going to be florals. Let's do a floral on here. So let's just grab scale. So I have a large floral, scale and color, right? So there are similar in scale or size, but different color, and then a smaller one. And it's also in a grouping of 3, which for some reason the brain just finds appealing. So I have those elements. Now let's pick my title. I'm going to pick my title because as a scrapbooker, right? I'm probably going to pick a title. So what title do I want? So maybe it would be the story. I like that, right? So I am going to probably do a asymmetrical design. So it is symmetrical would mean it's balanced, the same on both sides. Asymmetrical would mean that the balance is different from the left to right or vice versa. So I know I'm going to have the story on here. Well, it is in the real world. If I was pulling other stuff, I would mount that on something. Right, maybe like a little flag banner or something, just because the transparency, I would want to make it pop. We don't have that element, so we'll just make it work. So I inadvertently already kind of layered these. How I would probably put the red one up here, the orange one closer to the Y because of the color, and then I put that one there. And I will tell you 100 that I'd either be popping this up or popping that flower up just to there to draw my eye to different elements. So look at, I've already kind of clustered a title there. Would something linear and changing scale be good? Yes. So I would probably fill my greenery in here somewhere, right? So maybe here, like that. And now, so my title isn't just floating in space. I would probably put some kind of linear element, which could be my pencil. It could be my ruler. It could be my border. It could be the pink strip. Does it start to make sense now? Like these elements are in every single one of my collections because you need them. So there might be a pencil in multiple of my collections because you're limited. It's going to be an arrow. It's going to be a border. It's going to be a word strip. But I also could add, so let's say I'm going to go with the pencil for this one. And then remember the long word strips? I like to tell a story. I like the words. Sarah is in education, right? Sarah, we love the words. Sarah loves color. So look at the story. So what one would, what do we have here? These are the moments to remember. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm loving it. That's the story of my life. That, look at, is this is Vicky. This is going to be my mantra. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm loving it. So, right? Then I can put that little bit of black, which I always love. It's great grounding. And there I have a cluster. Would I add other elements? Possibly. I might want to tie some more black in. So I might take a butterfly that just perches on top of story. And I could cluster like this. And I would take another one if I had it and maybe put it over here. And then I would create a visual triangle with the black. Right? So that just gives you kind of an idea that we just clustered. We just clustered, and it all comes together because in my collections, these elements always exist. Because for me, design is design is design. So there's one. So I apologize. Like maybe it was probably bad. I was bad to do something where you can't buy this package, but then we'll do it again now with the next thing. So now let's take a linear element. What could we cluster? Now we have a telegram, right? So I am going to, ooh, look, I'm going to build a little village with this. So I might take my houses and I'm going to probably do asymmetrical again. And do notice how there is a tall house, a medium house, and a small house, because scale matters. We wouldn't do them all the same size. And in my world, I would probably take this guy, because it's thin paper, I'd back it, and he'd be popped up. I would probably pop the one in the middle up in that, because it's a cluster in a cluster, right? So let's say we're going to do that. So they're grounded, because you couldn't have, houses can't just float in space. You can't just stick those on a layout without putting something underneath it. They're houses. Or you have to put balloons on top and it's up. But right, to cluster, you have to ground it. So you now have this telegram strip makes the houses make sense. They're not just floating around on your page. So let's say I'm going to do that. I want my linear element. So color matters. I wouldn't use this unless there was something to separate it, because it's too close to telegram. So it just doesn't, not going to pop, right? So maybe I want to put this element underneath there. So I have a linear element. The stitches could be really cool on here too. Adding the black, and black is always grounding. And that's why you'll see black or navy in a lot of my collections. It matters, right? So we have our little house elements, and then we would pick our title. So what title I would use on here would matter. It would matter because some of it, I wouldn't probably use this because it's not really going to fit, right? That probably isn't going to fit BU. But maybe we could do smaller titles to make it work. So let's look. What do we have? We have today, and see, normally I would have 12 million more titles. So, but there are other elements. Look at this, could be cool. We could layer that guy on here. And then you could put a small title in there. Ooh, look. See, because now, like for me, if you're like, Vicky, well, what would you do? I would be pulling my puffy script words, because I'd be putting a script. Like imagine I had love up there and you that layered on my little hand like that. So this is when I would pull a word. So even though maybe remember you doesn't make sense, but to give you an idea. Right? You could do things like that. And then that would be popped up. So imagine it's not remember you, but it could be. Maybe remember you. Maybe this is like visiting, my grandma lived in the city, and I go and visit my grandma in the city, in my Yukon, in the city. Channeling my Justin Bieber there. I don't know if anybody got the reference. So, right, I could put that. And now there's a linear title, because maybe the space that I'm using, I don't have a lot of room down there to cluster, right? So there's another cluster that is a linear cluster. Let's do something else. Trying to pick different elements now, right? Different elements now. So I am going to take this. I'm going to do a bigger cluster. So maybe I want to offset. So I'm going to have a bigger cluster because I have a lot to say, a lot of story to share here. So then I have my elements, right? My kind of base elements. And maybe inside are going to be butterflies in my cloche. So the plus is when you're using a collection that is a full collection, you don't have to worry about colors or continuity because the colors pretty much all will match. So when I do something like this, right, we need to have our base. So I'm going to add that layer is going to ground my cloche. We could look that title, look at BU. We could totally fill in on there too, right? But I'm probably going to do that. But I want something underneath there. So do you see, like, it's grouping? We're going to do a grouping. This might be too big, but I love my clips. Let's see if it'll work. Yeah, that's too big. Scale-wise doesn't work. Tickets are all stuck together because I would be cutting them apart. Do 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 do. Because sometimes we do long. Oh, look at. Oh, I love that. Because now I'm going to vary the height. Right? We have our grounding. And then you could use your stapler and your clips, but I like that because now my title was floating in space. But now I just gave it, this helps it be a focal point, right? That helps it be a focal point. And then on a layout too, I would start putting filler in there. And sometimes, you know, I might in the real world be looking for other stuff because I'd want to fill it. But I dig that. And then I would put another word on here for subtitle because it says BU, the world will adjust. Isn't that good? BU, the world will adjust. That song is in your head. It's a good one, right? In the city. I don't know the words. Whatever. You can drive a Yukon. I love Beebs. And then I would be cutting like one of these other words out. But you guys get the gist, right? Some of it then we kind of hit the wall because I need other elements because they're not going to work. Because what, so you're like, Vicky, what would ideally would you love? I would love another butterfly. So let's swap. Let's switch. Let's switch gears. Let's switch gears. Because I love linear aspects, like things that I can add. Like that. Oh, yeah, look at that come together. And then repeats. Could be floating hearts. Right? Do you see? You can start pulling. And then what I would do is I'd be finding a word that was red so I could put it in here so it would make sense. So that just gives you an idea of clustering. I have my base, I have my linear elements, I have my hero pieces, I have repeated pattern. But really, you can take anything and you could cluster. And here's the thing where, so when Sizzix approached me and they were like, would you like to do like work with us? And I'm like, yes. And you will see when my stuff starts coming out that it will completely make sense. This is going to work. Tell me you can see me. Refresh. Yay! I'm back. Talk about that is magic. Oh my goodness. Can you even believe that? So I hope I didn't lose all of you. So come back. Come back. Sorry, friends. I plugged everything in except for the plug. So thank goodness. Now we know that there is saving it. They're saving it. Yeah, my phone died. I'm looking going, why is the like wheel of death on the video? And then I look up and my screen's black. I'm like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. So hopefully you guys will find your way back. Sorry about that. I'm just glad that I was able to fix it. So this takes too long to get back in the box, okay? So let's switch gears now from the past to the present. So you still can get a lot of the cut and paste. I love this collection. The projects we made with it are some of my favorite. Would you not agree? A lot of you guys were in the cut and paste class. Absolutely loved it. Right? We thought Dad called. No, I didn't have the phone plugged in, which can be a problem when you only had like probably about 20% when you started. So I apologize. Okay, so I need to go and get the some elements from the journaling pack. In the city. I cannot wait for tomorrow when we get to do the new stuff. Oh my goodness. So for any of you guys that are joining me tomorrow, will you, I hope there's some of you that didn't watch the walkthrough. So I hope there's a couple of you that it's all going to be brand new. At least a couple. So frames, let's talk about frames. Frames matter. Frames frame your cluster. Hi Kim, is Kim new? Is Kim here for the first time? Okay, I grabbed some base pieces. See, you know what song's in my head now. I'm Rob Bass and I came to get down. I'm not internationally known, but I'm known to rock a microphone because I get stupid. I mean outrageous. Stay away from me if you're contagious, because I'm the man. No, not a loser. To be an MC is what I choose. The ladies love me. Girls adore me. I mean, even the ones who never saw me. Like the way that I rhyme never so. The reason why, man, I don't know. So let's go, cuz. So, you know, with the foundations pieces, look at different collection. Different collection is but similar elements. That was your song too? Yeah. That was your song too? Me too. Yeah, I would have been up on the dance floor shaking it. Okay, so our foundation buildable pieces. So when you open those packs, and I wasn't lying when I said, what do? I take all my elements when I open up a collection and I start clustering them together so I can quickly find like things. So our foundations will have different scale, different color. And what I love about working with 49 and Market now is I was so limited with American Crafts. I could have 50 things in a icon pack or ephemera pack. And I'm one of the first ones. The reason why everybody started doing 2 ephemera packs is because I'm like, it's not enough. But it's because the cost of the die. Like, so for them to, for any company to make something, you get charged, right, for the die, what you could fit on that one die. So it was important to me to have more. Like, there wasn't enough. So we have titles. We have titles in black. I love black titles, right? Different elements. And then instead of open a whole new pack, let's just pull. So these are our heroes. And in this was called the Flower Emporium. So guess what we had? Flowers, because it was a flower store. But then we have bases that are like this. So it's like almost an elevated base as well. And then you have frames, all different frames. And then you have tabs and labels and little words. So is there anything, are there any requests for elements that you have left over that you'd like to see? Or let me know if you want me to direct this any certain way. And then don't forget the rub-ons. Rub-ons are adding mixed media art that you didn't have to pull out a sewing machine. You didn't have to pull out ink. You didn't have to decoupage an old book page. You have an element that's flat that can be laid on the background, right? The card with a rose. Because it is, even sometimes some of the elements, I won't lie to you, the rose card is beautiful, but this was a Melissa concept, right? And here, so tell me, friends that are out there, have you found me through 49 and Market, but you didn't really follow me before? Because this, I'm going to tell you real talk. Let's have some real talk. For me, and it might be wrong, I might be incorrect in this thinking, but I want you to have possibilities. And so I am not of the school of layering everything on the page and then only adding a mat and photo. I would rather give you the elements so you can layer. I'm probably not correct in that. I will tell you, because I think a lot of people who don't feel comfortable in their creativity might find that they don't love that as much as I do. And maybe I am close-minded, giving you too many choices. Do you know what I'm saying? If you were here before, you won't care. You love me, you're here, you like it. I think for new people, my art will probably never look like that. Like it will, I've done some things that I find weren't normal, like normally in my collections, right? But I've added other elements that aren't normal for 49 and Market, right? Do you know what I'm saying? You like the choices, but I wonder if, will it, what do you call, what's the word I'm looking for? Will it translate for people who like layered backgrounds? I wonder. I always wonder, right? Because it's one of those things where it's like, I want to put my own elements, and I don't like things flat. That's my other thing. I like to put pop dots and all the other things, right? So it's one of those, right? I'm like, it makes me wonder, I might be wrong. Like, just because I love it doesn't mean the people love it. So it's always one of those, right? Trying to grow creatively. So we have our bases, right? We'll put some bases down. Let's grab a couple frames, because frames are where it's at. Is there anybody out there who doesn't really use frames in their art? Bases, like I do a lot of envelopes. I love the idea of being able to stick stuff in it, right? Yeah, I always wonder, right? You met me in San Juan. I love that. I remember being at that convention center. So and then we elevated our borders, like our linear elements, right? We elevated our linear elements because we have those borders, we have the rub-ons, we have all of the things. So let's do some things. So the first request was the rose card, right? So let's see what we will do with that for a cluster. You've been watching since COVID. Love me some frames. Me too, right, Sarah? Like, they're not just for putting photos in, right? Some of them, I love the idea of, I love this collection too, I have to say. but it's hard. It's not what, I don't know. It's a little different, I think, for people who were lovers already of 49 and Market. It's just finding that happy medium, and I hope I'm getting there. So right away, right? Who asked for this card? I forget who it was because I wanted to say your name. Creative Escape. Oh my goodness, Barbara. Right? That was a long time ago. Okay, so whoever asked for this card. So right away, what am I going to look for? Color. So did I say it right before? Is it Lolis? Lawless? I don't know phonetically if I'm doing that right. So if I'm going to look for color, wouldn't this be fun? Look at. What if I start my story pulling a little bit of pink in there? Right? Pulling a little bit of pink. So already I like this. I like the direction that that's going in. That kind of makes me really happy. So then I could look at, look at, this kind of looks fun. What if I fill this space in with a title? So I have gatherings. And now my rose looks like it's coming out of my gatherings. So we need a card for inside of our envelope. Do I have one that matches exactly? No, but I think I'm going to pull orange. I'm going to pull a little bit of orange in here. So I am going to put this little orange. It's going to be big, but we'll fill it with some stuff, okay? See, there's orange here. So what if it's big. So let's imagine that we cut that, because I probably would. Scale-wise, I'd cut that. But maybe I can fill the bottom in because we're not making, so. Let's do this. Gatherings. Could I put another title on here? I could if I wanted to, right? And then I have some subtitles, so let's see what they say. Gathering. Live life with purpose and passion and purpose. Capture the moments that count. I like that. So that could go like that. I have my subtitle for my gatherings. This would 100% be popped up with a foam dot. This would go on an angle in my pocket, like that. So I've tied the orange in from the orange tape. I have this on here. We could put extra flowers. Did I pull? There are some roses in this collection, right? The tall rose buds. But we could still put a different floral element on here if we wanted to. And we have butterfly elements. And we could put these kind of elements on here if we wanted to. But it is one of those. So this is like, you're not alone with this flower card. I did, for me, I'm like, it's an element that is not like other elements in here. So it was one of the harder ones, right? But let's tie our orange and pink. So that's what we'll do that makes it like, is let's tie orange and pink in here. So let's cluster some. Hearts could go on there too, but why not cluster something down here like that? So see, I grabbed 3 flowers that varied in scale from small, medium, and large. I could fill in with some leaves. So when it comes, say, to stamps and stuff like that too, I love florals, I love greenery, I love borders, I love, just see, look at that green, that leaf kind of repeats that leaf. And look at, you have a story here too. And could a photo go in here? You totally could. To me, a question. What was in your mind when you start a cluster, color, shape, title, elements? I love product. So I will tell you that usually when I'm starting, I'm looking at, okay, let's talk about that to me, because that's a great question. So when I open this package, do you see how things are all like things are put together? When you have a cluster or an element package that has 217 pieces, if you don't take everything out, the first thing you do when you do one of my classes is you should separate all of your ephemera packs and not the laser die cuts. I learned that. Don't take all the laser die cuts out. Learn from experience. You take those off as you need them. They're too delicate and you'll wreck them, and they're hard to find. But I would take this pack and I would separate it by all like things. All the hearts would go together. All the flowers would go together by like so same flower. These are like mums. I put all the mums together. I put all the daisies together. I put all the leaves together, all the butterflies together, and I do sort them by color and then size. And then when I go to find things, I can see everything I have to play with. Does that make sense? So really, to me, that would be the first most important thing, is to separate your stuff, because it can be very overwhelming and it's a lot. Does it make me want to give you less? No, but it makes me want to teach you to do the steps to be organized and prepared, because visually now my eye is going and grabbing like things. Does that make sense? Separate and clip. And then I put it all back in the package. Or I have my sorting trays that you know I love from Scrapbook.com. And I'm not sure if Natalie's here. I'm sure she'll throw up some of my share sale links, because if you're going to go shop for them, it costs you nothing, but it certainly helps. And, you know, like, it's a store too, right? So I like to support, but I love it. Question, what time tomorrow? 12 p.m. Eastern. I can put my little border in here. Look at that. And tie some of that pink in. Would I use pink? Probably not. I'd probably use another color, but I don't hate it. And now my title's not just floating in space. Look, I like that. So that guy would be, I actually am very happy with this. And I'll tell you, I would be putting a little mini Polaroid photo in there. I may have missed this. Where would you place this on a layout? Well, let's grab a piece of paper. Do I have Flower Emporium here? Yes. Great question. Right? So let's pick something. So if I'm looking, what would I pick? I would pick yellow. I would pick orange. Ooh, look it. Oh my goodness. Watch this come together. This is like perfection. Seriously, watch. Because it's all made. It's one of those things when you think about it. So this collection comes from nothing. When I build these collections, it starts at nothing. It's an idea. It's a seed. We water it, we nurture it, we give it light, we talk to it, and we nurture to grow a collection. So when you think about all the elements you see, I don't just, we make them. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's really exciting when Cherie said to me, "Hi, Mari, how are you? How are your treatments go? How are you feeling?" I'm having a hard time speaking. Can you tell? Because I just screwed up your name twice and then couldn't speak. But I haven't slept much. Look at this paper. Look at this right here, Cherie. Hi, Mike. How are you? So look, where would I put this? I would probably stick with my asymmetrical design. So I could layer this on here. Like that. The pink really pops on here. And you did notice that I'm trying to cover, right, this orange bit. Because I'm not cutting it, so I'll just fake it. And this is where the other thing, because I'm not an ink edger, but I would use foam dots. I would use my sewing machine. So we're going to talk about the design too, because I think that matters, is why I'm filling in and why I'm putting things where they are. Okay, so there were the elements that we had. So now you're like, what photos could you put on here? You could do 3 photos in a row right here, like a film strip. I could put a photo here or a photo here. I could, if I was going to do a double page layout, I would cluster here, and then I would do something similar in the upper left-hand corner on the other page, right? Sending you lots of love, Mari, so I missed it. So everything is going well? Because then I start talking and then I don't know what you said, even though I asked the question, so I don't want to make you repeat it, but hopefully everything's going well, my sweet friend. So when I'm doing this, so there's my cluster, so I have some black here, but then let's add those other elements. Like when you talk about things that I add and you're like, so why do you put this in here? And it's like, because it's fun. So look at when you have stuff like this. Like I could add some of that black there and I could put a little word on here. I could then also, I don't actually like that on there though, so I'm not going to lie. That would not be going on there. It might go in the pocket though. I could do that in here. Ooh, I like that. I like that better. Right? And there are so many opportunities for the clustering. I give you so many elements, right? You could layer lovely on here too if you wanted to. Right? Lovely gatherings. Capture moments that count. Question. Should the photo touch the cluster? It doesn't have to be, but I would be grounding it on a mat or layered pattern paper. Right? Happy to hear about your remission. I am at the beginning of my breast cancer, stage 3 triple negative diagnosis on June 16th. I've had 9 of 24 planned chemos so far. The tumor's shrinking. That is great news, Maureen. Stay strong, take care of yourself, get lots of rest, and we're thinking about you, right? General rule of thumb, Samara says no touching, but overlapping is okay. I would, each to your own. Could I? Yes. My photos might be part of my cluster, right? They might be part of my cluster. It just depends how I'm doing it. But I'm going to tell you that most layouts that I look at, a lot would be like, would have stuff like a flower and a flower and a flower. Is there anything wrong with that? No, but if you're going to do that, then there's going to be a photo, there's going to be a title. Like I'm still doing mini clusters, right? And then if I had a little clip, I'd put a clip on there. So it's still a cluster, even if it's only a 3-unit cluster. But if you put stuff that just kind of flies around, because I actually think that's kind of cool. Could you imagine that I had a photo that went here and that flower popped out from behind, and then I put like a little subtitle behind that? That's making my eye just randomly go around the page. That just made my eye start to move around the page, right? So by just doing stuff like that, tying your words in. I hope that you guys are finding this helpful. And I'm really glad that you guys are sharing stuff that's going on in your lives, because it's super important to have a community and people that you have some support when you're going through some really rough stuff. And yes, your frames, for me are often like, I put that in here and that gives me, look at that element, adding just that element when you're putting your words in it, right, can be a great way to not have it like just floating in space. And maybe it goes like this. Lovely gatherings. And then I could have a little butterfly popping out. So I just find that those things are, because I will see it. I will see elements where if you just do kind of like this, it's not that it's wrong, it's that it's not as impactful, right? It's not that it's wrong, it's just not as impactful. So I just feel like doing clusters, and not all of them, a lot of these are title clusters, but if you've taken my class, the new thing we do is we have the cluster night, right? The Friday night we cluster. And then what I love in the last class is when we went and built all the bases of the layout, we already had our starting point with the clusters. So you could do clusters without even having photos or anything ready. You're clustering product and it's kind of a theme. So you could have a whole box of clusters that you then go and add to a flip book, to a layout, to cards, to a mini book, to your traveler's notebooks, to your listing. So I just feel like good design is good design is good design. And these elements matter. They matter if you want it. And to me, it's I want it to be rewarding and that you feel fulfilled when you're doing all of this art stuff. And I want takeaways so it doesn't get boring or you don't feel stuck or stagnant or the stuff doesn't get kind of stale, right? So that's kind of the idea I had for tonight, was just talking about clusters. I will talk about more of it now every time I teach. If you have questions about the design, right? You still have clusters left from Discover and Create. Those were good too, weren't they? I loved Discover and Create, was one of my favorite collections. Newbie here. Grandma in South Carolina. This seems like a great community. It really is, Kathy. Come and join us. So I do classes that are paid classes, but I do Friday nights that are for everybody. If you're new to me, this is all my collection with 49 and Market. I worked with American Crafts. I did 20 collections with American Crafts. I'm Vicki Booten. Nice to meet you. So do you have to use my stuff to play? No. This will work as long as you have your elements. You can do it with whatever you have, right? Dion, question. Could you do a design lesson on visual triangles with clusters in the future? I want to do a whole design class, Dion. I really think that I could break it down into, like, this is just the tip of the iceberg. But I hope it helped. Was this helpful? Did you at least get a couple of golden nuggets? Some good elements to add to your creative toolbox? Well, and here, we'll talk about that, right? S'moramum. I design the product. I create the product. I decide the color. I decide the scale. I decide how many repeats. I decide the titles. So for me to sit and use my own collection is, yes, I'm a pro at it because it all came out of my head, right? So do I struggle when I use other designers' collections? Sometimes, yes, very much. Sometimes I sit and look at it and I will be like, I am not enjoying the process because it's not how my brain works. So I can only imagine then for some of you guys, you might feel that way, where the art could be beautiful, but it's missing elements. I often feel like scale will be a big one. That scale, or I don't like when the elements are layered already because it's flat. Like if I had this whole thing and it was all glued as one piece, you've probably seen them. So say all of this was one flat piece. I would rather be able to do this. And this is why I think sometimes my stuff doesn't translate as well, because this is scary. To have to do it yourself if you're not really sure can be scary. So to buy an element that all you have to do is stick a photo on it, people might like that better. It's never going to be me. You know what I mean? It's never going to be me. Because I would rather, this already is almost pushing it. I would rather have this as a piece, this as a piece, and the card as a piece. So I feel like this was already, I made concessions. Do you know what I mean? So I look at it and go, sometimes I like even for this, I know people like that, but I would take the daisy off. I don't want the daisy on there. I would rather add the daisy myself. I'd rather have the freedom to, if I don't want a daisy on here, to be able to add what I want. And then I'll give it to you in tons of other elements. Like if I want to put this card and I really want butterflies on it, like I want that. And sometimes you've done my clusters, I will totally cover this because I'm like, nope, not today, Satan. You can't tell me what to do. And I'll do something like this and fake it. Because that is way more interesting to me when I can add foam dots and I could put rub-ons on here or I could stamp on it, right? So ask me questions now. Is there anything, because I've been doing all this looking down and I probably have missed a lot of the conversation and the questions tonight. But I knew tonight this was good. So thank you. Cherie is actually the first one to post it, and she said, why don't you talk about clusters? And I have to say, Cherie shared the exact information that I needed on a week that I am literally bone tired. I went live twice yesterday, today, and then I'm live again tomorrow. And then on top of probably averaging 4 hours of sleep. So this was perfect. This is what a great community is. That you guys give as much to me as I hopefully give back to you. Question, do you decide size before you start? Yes, because if I already know the photos that I'm in there, so I might know on this layout, I don't have any photos right here in front of me that I could throw on here. But say I knew I was going to do 2 4x6s landscape on here. Well, then I'd know, like, there's only so many ways that you could add it on a square. So that might be my cluster is going to go here, and it's going to be long and tall. It might go across the bottom, and the photos are on the top. I use mats. So let's think about the process. Okay, that's another Tamia. You're knocking it out of the park with questions. So do you know when I'm doing a class? And I have, so these are all the elements I'm using in the class, right? First thing I do, no word of a lie, is I pull out all the titles and separate the titles because I need a title for every page. So I have to make sure that I have a title for the albums. I have a title for my layouts. So I pull the titles. And then I create a theme for my clusters. So remember the buildings? So say there's buildings or houses in like in Christmas, there's houses, there are lamp posts, there's snowmen, there's a little truck. So one of my layouts, I pulled all the houses, the snowman, all the different scale, because I'm going to do like city streets, right? City sidewalks. I'm going to do that on a layout. So I went through and I clustered all like things, and then I start to pull papers that will match that color palette, and I divide it all up. So when I go to do my layouts, like Christmas is sitting across from me, I've already divided everything and threw a pile of elements on there. And then I will go through and I will decide scale of photos. So I build backwards probably because I am product driven. Does that make sense? Where you guys are probably as traditional scrapbookers, like I was when I started, I would have been photo driven. I would have picked a photo that I was really excited to scrapbook. I would have picked the colors that I wanted, the elements I wanted to match to it, and then I'd start building my layout. Where I go opposite. I build from the elements and I find photos to fit. Does that make sense? Because I don't design like the average person, because it is product driven, because I am educating using my product. Does that make sense? Because I'm not just like, if it was back in the day where I was using Simple Stories and everybody else, now it's not. And the other thing is I want to be a tool, just like my friend Tim Holtz. Similar but different. But when Tim sits down and he comes out with a whole collection, a new product, he's going to show you all the ways to use it. And it's what makes him the master of what he does. Because if you already have decided you're investing in those products, it's a great tool to have somebody who shows you now how to get your maximum use out of it. So I do it through paper. It's scrapbooking backwards, but you know what? What's really funny, as I think about it, when I go to crops back in the day when this wasn't like a full-time job, is I never brought a photo with me because that's a lot of work to plan. And then what if I didn't bring the right paper? I have the wrong title. I would make all the bases on I would sketch, I would make layouts, and I'd come home and print photos and put it on there. It's not a bad way to do it. It's not a bad way to do it, especially if you love stuff. I can find photos to go on anything, and I can use all my favorite photos. I can tell the story. I can add extra mats. I can put a second page to a single page layout. I can do another double page layout. So I don't think there's anything, actually, when you think about it, you'll go through more of your stash if you do it my way. Don't you agree? That you'd use more of your stuff if you sketch things. So say you go on and you're really inspired by Natalie or Sarah on my design team and you see a layout they did. So imagine if you looked at it where you're going to take a pencil and you're going to sketch out the basic design of the pattern and make some notes for yourself. Well, your sketch is in pencil. There's no color on it. There's no theme. You've just pretty much done a very basic pattern for the puzzle that you're going to create. So now you went out and you bought Curiosities in Willow Grove and you're super excited. You love the collection. Well, now you have 5 sketches. You go to a crop. You have your elements. Well, you put your pieces together using the formula I gave you. When you go home, you can go through your photos. You can edit them to fit. And you can put your photos on your page. You don't have to do it. I actually think you would have less of a struggle if you don't use your photos as your focal point. Does that make sense? Like, think about that for a minute. Do you ever sit and you have your photo and you're moving stuff all over and you're having a really hard time? Really hard time. Could you imagine that you came home from a crop with 20 pages finished? Because you left a lot of your bigger embellishments at home and you just kind of use your bases and your titles and all the rest, or you don't add a title till your photo's on there. And then you go through those photos like, oh my goodness, I just had my daughter's first communion and I picked a color palette I knew would go. And then you go home, you go through your photos and you're probably getting way more done than you would do the other way. Just telling you, there's different ways to look at it. There's no rules. There's no rules. There are design concepts that make your projects look better, but really, I remember my friend Allie Edwards told me, like, you have to journal on every layout because she loves the words. Well, for me, if I really had to journal on everything, I would have quit scrapbooking a long time ago because it's not what brings me joy. I like to add the story. If there is a story, sometimes there's no story. It's just a pretty picture and I can put 2 sentences on there and just like Devin and I at the park. There's nothing else really to tell. So if I had to journal on everything, I'd feel like it was school. It's not, I like the stuff. I like the mixed media. I like the color. I like the design. I'm more design focused. You know how you'll find scrapbookers and people within this industry that you love, and you love them for different reasons. Because this one might be very clean, uses a lot of asymmetrical design with white backgrounds, and you love that. You might be more this person who journals a whole paragraphs on there, and you're like, oh my goodness, English literature was my major. I love that. That's what I connect with. So it's always just finding what you connect with. And you might take little golden nuggets away from all of us that you start to develop your own style, or you can copy. There's no rules in any of this. I'm going to flip the camera so you're not just talking to my hands. And then if you have any questions before I sign off, because I'm going to be back here in 5 minutes. Hi. Oh my goodness, I don't have my glasses on. So sorry. There's no makeup on tonight. I'm going to go really far away and then distraction. It's distraction because my eyes, I had a meeting today and we were on Teams or whatever. And I was like, I am sorry. I look like an old bag. I'm so tired. So I hope you found that helpful. We are going to delve more into this. I'm going to develop a whole class around this because the things I take for granted, I think could be super helpful, just giving people tips on all of the things. So I hope you found that helpful. If you have any questions, make sure you post them if you're watching this after the fact in the regular comment section, and I'll come back and check, and I'll make sure that I add my responses, because I love the questions. You know, like, to me, it was feeding me, like, what are you setting it up? I was at the bat, and she was just pitching in the perfect things for me to just knock it out of the park, because you're asking me the questions that my brain wouldn't have thought of it. But when you ask the question, yes, I have answers for that. So you have more questions. I love it. Anything right now? Because here, I'm going to adjust so I can sit, though. Okay, so I don't have to stand. So sorry. Oop. Don't look at the mess. That is my room, because my room is a disaster. So give it to me, Tamia. What other questions do you have? Don't look back there. Stop looking. It's a mess. What other questions do you have? I have to take these off because I can't see. And I'll answer a couple more, and then I have to go to bed because tomorrow is going to be a long one, right? I loved how you explained your design process. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that I always say, I love classes and listening to people who approach things completely different, in a completely different way than I do, or their style is completely different, because it makes me think about things differently. It makes me adjust, pivot, make changes, grow as a creative person. So I always think a lot of people, the first class they'll sign up for is, so say like in the card stamp making world, you like the cute designs. Like maybe you lean towards, you like the little mouse and the little pumpkin and with a witch hat, like that's your jam. Definitely sign up for that class, but I would also sign up for the mixed media one that is not your style at all. Because really, pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, you can find aspects and things that you can add into what you do that just make you grow creatively. So I think that's super important. So to me, I had a question, and I don't want to miss it. Question: when do you decide to use product over mixed media backgrounds? Really? With me, I would use mixed media backgrounds always. It would be my first thing, because that makes my heart happy. Vicki Boutin creatively could very happily sit down and just pull prints on a gel plate and not even care if I'm referring to myself in third person because that's the other Vicki. It's Vicki After Dark. I would sit and just do mixed media, watercolor, gel plate printing with no purpose. And I'm still trying to get a lot of you there, because a lot of crafters are very purpose-driven crafters. They have to see an end product. They're not process-driven crafters where they really get value and love the process of making. And I feel like that's when you level up. Doesn't mean every time you sit down that it needs to be that, but the process is part of the joy. And I'm trying. I wish I had more time to sit and do these kind of things, and more classes and more online classes, because I think the value I bring is way beyond the product. It's way beyond a scrapbook page. I feel like I want to help you with the passion. I want your creating to be passion driven, because I am really not blowing smoke when I say that when I'm having a really rough day, or I'm really sad, or even I'm very joyful, when I sit down and just make, and it could be anything, like I'm working on the Christmas kit, like the classes, I could stay up all night, not eat, not talk to anybody, because it's almost a drug to me. It releases so many endorphins. Brings so much joy that I could live by myself in a loft in New York City and just sit and make art all day long. It brings me joy. So if I can share even little smidgens or pieces of that with people, and hopefully ignite little sparks of joy, because a lot of you need it. I'm sure you're out here listening going, I need that in my life. And I really feel like I'm I'm your pusher. I'm the creative pusher because I do feel like it is the best natural high that there could be is when you feel accomplished or learning new things and the discovery of art. And I think we live in a world now that we need it. We need things that are just aren't political, aren't sad, aren't thinking about families, that hard stuff, aren't thinking of illness. If you get that little reprieve, the moments of reprieve are really important so you can tackle the hard stuff. So, this was a soapbox. This was Clusters and Vicky on her soapbox. So if you're new here, that's what I want you to keep coming back for is the Vicky After Dark. Because sure, I sell kits and they're great kits and the value is awesome. And when you buy my kits, you support me so I can keep doing this stuff. So I love all of that. I love that you go and you buy my stuff from your favorite stores and you're supporting all of those amazing people of the community. And all of that is easy. That's an easy sell. Like, right? You can be like, I bought the kit. I got it. The value is good. I had 21 hours of education. That's awesome. It's what happens in those 21 hours, I think, that separates it all. And I don't know, for some of you that have been here for a long time, I think if you feel it, it's your vibe, you keep coming back. Maybe you do one and you're never back again because you're like, Vicky's not my vibe. But you'll find the person who is your vibe, right? You'll find the person who is your vibe. And I just like that I can keep doing it after, like, Riley is 24 years old and I've been doing it since he was 6 months old. This form of art, I mural paint, like the art, the wall behind me, I painted. Um, right? You just got to find your vibe. And for me, my superpower within this industry is, I think, the connecting and hopefully I think I make good designs. Lots of people make good designs though. So I think that it is very deliberate. I think my designs are deliberate and well thought out. So I think that's a good thing. Once you understand the formula, that you'll see it. And I hope now, I hope when we sit down tomorrow, I feel like this was like the, what do you call it? Prelude? Pre? So kind of understanding Vicky's design process. So when we walk through Curiosities in Willow Grove tomorrow, you're going to start going, look, linear elements. Vicky talked about that. Ooh, there's tabs and labels and clips in every single one of her collections. There's always fillers like stars and hearts. There's butterflies or some kind of element that's like a repeatable element. So I hope that you get to see all of this and, right, preface, not, but what is that? Like the prelude, like Janet Jackson, that Control album. And then she like, or in on Justin Bieber's where they have the little talk in between, right? Not like your usual. I'm not usual though, right? I'm abusual, abnormal. But I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to read through your comments because I feel like it was very soapbox and it wasn't like a back and forth, which I like. If we were sitting in a room, which is if you ever have a chance to be in person, I love that because then you can be talking to me and I can have a full-on conversation. I try to do it on these, right? You are extra. I'm extra. I'm something else, right? So let me look. Did I miss anything? I'm sure you guys said something awesome. And here, I'm talking to you if you need to hear this too. Because I'm sure there's some of you out there that maybe scrapbooked and did a lot of this stuff full on and you were like, oh, I am using the inks and I love what Tim does and I have all of the things and I like what Vicky does, but now it's all in a room and I join in, but I'm not really doing any of the art. Let's change that. So maybe 12 by 12 layouts aren't your thing anymore. Your kids are grown, you're by yourself. Maybe you lost a loved one or your spouse and you're looking at all this stuff and going, I just don't have the same passion for double page layouts that I used to do. Then do a mini book, do a flip book, do a couple cards, do something. Do something. If you found joy in it before, I feel like it can find a place in your life and put it out there. Let me know. Like, look, we did the mixed media stuff. I just need more creative time. I would do all the things with you guys. It's just now it's a business on the other side that, the design and all the other stuff comes. But I feel like do that for yourself. Don't do it for me. Don't do it because Vicky told you had to. Find something, pick one thing. Maybe it's your set of watercolors you haven't picked up in a long time and buy a new stamp set for yourself. Something, a floral, something you can get lots of use out of. and sit down and just stamp some images and paint them with no purpose. You don't even have to think cards yet. Your only commitment is going to be I stamped a bunch of flower designs on some watercolor paper, and I'm going to sit and I'm going to spend 20 minutes watercoloring and see if it still ignites the joy it used to. Do something for yourself. I feel sometimes we don't do enough for ourselves, and that's the other thing that I'm coming to realize in my old age, that I have to really start sometimes putting myself first, and I don't do that all the time. So I'm giving you the permission. If you needed it, do it. Do the things for yourself. It's important. So sorry. I am on a roll tonight. I am on a roll. So did I miss any of the things? I'm going to try, oops, I lost it. Doing mixed media and Vicky's Friday Night Lives is the best therapy, and it pulled me out of a dark depression at a very rough time in my life. I love that, Connie. And I love that we connected because you're still here. So I love that. And we all have our stuff that's going on, right? We all have our stuff that's going on. So I'm glad. Come and connect with me. Sometimes if you need just the chat nights, we can have chat nights. You know, I do this not thinking about that the whole world can see it on Vicky Booten YouTube. So I'd like to keep believing that it's just like a couple of us in a room, because, you know, some people are out there wishing you nothing but the best, and others just don't have it in them. So I have to keep believing that everybody who's watching, they're here because they want, or they get something from it, right? I saw, since your hubby passed, I learned I love cards and small projects and mixed media. And I love that, right? I love that for you. It doesn't all need to look the same for all of us. And it's why when I do the mixed media, I'm like, you can use this on anything. I would say the majority of the people here are still layout makers. They're still traditional scrapbookers. But I feel like, I know for me, my kids are older. I don't take photos the same way I did when they were younger. So I love mini books. I love smaller albums that I can see a start and a finish to. I love doing mixed media art. I love altered art. I'm very excited. Oh my goodness, when you guys see the new Sizzix stuff when it comes out, I'm very excited for the possibility with that, because it really makes it art for everyone. Because if we're doing mixed media, now you have dies and stamps and stencils that you can use to use that art. I think is just taking the whole Vicky world in like an add-on direction. So I'm excited about that. Did you get any sleep last night? I did, but let me tell you, and I think that's Carol, right? I had a really hard time getting out of bed this morning. Like, I hurt. My neck hurts. Everything just hurts. I pulled all-nighters forever. And now I'm like, I'm too old. My body is saying, lady, nope. And last night was a lady nope. So as soon as I get off here, I'll clean up a little bit, and then I'll go to bed, and I'll get up early so I can get everything ready for the morning. But is there a date for the Sizzix stuff coming out? I don't know that yet, Melinda, but it's in the new year. I think January-ish. I'll let you know though, I'll spread the word, and Sizzix will be very good they have a very in-depth marketing department. It's a really awesome team. So they'll be sharing all those things, right? You can't do the late nights anymore. I can, I love it. But when I do 3 or 4 in a row, it takes me a week then to repair. So it's not a good thing. It's not healthy. But I hope, right? I started making cards instead of scrapbooking when my husband passed too. The smaller canvas helped getting a complete project that you feel like there's value in a start and finish, right? And I totally get that. I love the whole card making world. Some super uber talented. And you have to think, like, I've been doing this for so long that probably a lot of your favorite card makers are friends of mine because they were scrapbookers in the beginning and then they went the card route. So a lot of them, like I have ones that I absolutely adore. I have like a lot of card makers that are totally my jam. Like when I look at their stuff, I'm like, yeah, that resonates. If I was gonna be more, which I do, and I'm making more cards, leaning more into the cards, that there's certain styles that I'm like, yeah, that I connect with that. I really love that. So I hope that I didn't miss any of your questions. please, if you're still here or you just joined in, tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern time, same bat, same bat channel, not same bat time. I'm going to be doing a walkthrough of my new collection with 49 and Market, which is called Curiosities in Willow Grove, because I couldn't decide on just one short 2-word title. It encompasses different things within the collection. Come and join me. I'm going to be doing 2 giveaways. One you have to be there live for, and the other one, if you can't make it live, will be in the comment section. I'm going to be giving away the same value for purchasing the class kit. So I am going to put my class kits up for 2 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. I'm going to send a newsletter out. I'm going to probably, before I go to bed, I'm going to quickly whip that up so that you guys will have all that information in your inbox in the morning. And I'll talk about all the other stuff tomorrow, but those are the important things, right? Tomorrow at noon. 12 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to walk through the collection. I hope you join me because, like I said, it's like presenting my baby, and I really love to kind of walk through and explain all the things that inspired me and the papers and why I chose those things. So I'm super excited for it. I had the best time tonight. Please, whatever time it is in your part of the world, enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy your sleep, enjoy your family, whatever you need to do, read, do the things, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. And next Friday, yes, I leave on the 23rd, so I will be back in there with all the dates and all the things. So thanks so much, friends. If you haven't already, make sure you give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. And thanks, as always, friends, for joining me. And we'll see you later. Bye, guys.